Let's see. All right. We've started this episode 2 of the BobbyBiggerCast. Well, I guess this is episode 3 actually. This is episode 3. You're my second guest. My first guest was a guy that was a Ninja Turtle in the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
The
movie.
first movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
wow.
very first two.
You know how to set me up for failure. I'm supposed to follow that guy?
Sorry. He was also in a movie that was called Showdown. That was a Karate Kid ripoff. Available on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, keep
He
pushing
actually,
that.
this guy actually lives in Fort Worth, which I thought was
dang.
that's just where we'll talk about later about our Texas connection. But originally we were talking or we were trying to talk. Some reason we couldn't figure out how to hear either one of us. So we were just saying, I was saying what I got going for me now. And I just said I go to Dunkin' Donuts all the time. And you asked me what my order is at Dunkin' Donuts. Yes, usually I get if it's hot out, I might get an iced coffee.
Yeah, get crazy, Bob.
Yeah. But I only drink coffee because of the like flavored creamers, or
Okay.
what you can put in coffee, like
Yeah,
black.
how did you feel about the Girl Scouts edition?
That was pretty good. It was
Yeah, the Thin Mint was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie
yeah,
to
the
you.
thin mint was good. I mean, right now I'm loving it because it's pumpkin season. So now
Oh,
they got
I mean, look at me. You think I don't love pumpkin
now they
spice?
got all the pumpkin. So yeah, they have a pumpkin donut, and they also have the pumpkin flavor swirls. At Dunkin' Donuts, you got the
Yeah.
regular stuff that is like blueberry, but it's not sweetened. And I don't really like to like put sugar in. Just for some reason, I don't like to put sugar in stuff, and because most places they put way too much.
Right.
So you got to get the flavor swirls at Dunkin' Donuts because those are the sweetened things, and the pumpkin that's sweetened.
Okay.
This is very interesting to people.
Yeah, I no, I mean I
Here's
this
a
is what
fat here's a
people want
fat
to hear
guy
about.
here's a fat guy secret. Go to Dunkin' Donuts. I told people this. You use the app, right? So you go to the Dunkin' Donuts, you see what donuts they have, and then you go on the app and you make an order of a donut that they don't have. Like let's say there's you like blueberry cake, and normally they have them, but say you go in there and
They're sold out.
you're looking
Yeah.
at well, they're sold out, or it's not even up there. Like, cause not every place has every single donut.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that,
So
Bob.
then you look and you're like, oh, they don't have any blueberry cake donuts. So then you order at least one, and then you go, I'm here to pick up my order. My name is Bob, and they'll be like, oh, we don't have any blueberry cake donuts, but you order something else too. And then what they'll do is they'll usually give you two of another donut they do have. So
Oh wow.
it's
Okay.
bucking the system because you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you don't have it, and then they ask you, well, what do you want? And every time that's happened, they've given me an extra donut.
Okay. I mean, I like that. Honestly, I wish I liked Dunkin' donuts because I do like their coffee, but their donuts I feel leave me a little bit sad.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna say they're the best donuts,
No,
but
you couldn't. I mean, you would be wild.
I like their apple crumb donut.
Okay.
That's the one that's got the
Because
apple.
I was gonna say, are
I,
you like
I
a
just ate one of those.
cake or a glazed? Like like a cake or like just like a tradish.
Uh, I mean, yesterday I got a vanilla sprinkle one, just like a regular
Okay.
donut that has like white icing on top with sprinkles.
Heard of
So
it.
I'll vary it up. Sometimes I just go for the French cruller.
Oh,
That's
okay.
always a
Yeah.
good.
She's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably had everything they have there at least once. I mean, I'll even get a bagel sometimes. People are like, "You get a bagel at Dunkin' Donuts? You're in New York City," and I'm like, I did it once because it's like
Yeah.
two
Oh
for
man.
$3.
Are you in a city or are you in Brooklyn?
I'm in Astoria.
Okay. I know. I like that I forget that Queens exists. The it's so far. The best, my hangover fix, like my go-to, like I need it, have to have it, and I think about this sandwich pretty regularly, is Brooklyn Bagel Company, which is of course ironically not in Brooklyn, but there is one in Astoria.
Okay.
So you go and they have like cream cheese spread out like gelato.
Sure.
Okay, I'm talking like every flavor.
That's like New York.
Like,
Yeah, New York bagel.
it's so good. And so then they do breakfast sandwich where you do, why would you get American or cheddar cheese on your breakfast sandwich when you could get scallion cream cheese, Bob? So you get scallion cream cheese and then you get bacon, a scrambled egg on a bagel.
Scallion cream cheese. Hey, we're a perfect
All day.
match. That's my
Is
go-to when I go to the
Oh,
New York City bagel. Right
it's
across
so
right
good.
across the street. Actually, I make that myself.
Yeah, it's not a really complex recipe. It's pretty straightforward.
No, but to sit there and cut scallions and then smush them into cream cheese,
I mean,
I like to do that.
I get like fully upset when a place doesn't have that, and they're like, "Well, we have chive," and I'm like, "Well, that's a different vegetable, isn't it?"
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that does like. At least if excuse me.
Sorry, small dog.
I mean, at least if you said we're out of the scallion, we have onion cream cheese. You might be like, I guess that's closer than
chive.
I'm
like, I'm looking for an allium, and you're offering me an herb. Sorry, dude.
Chive, yeah. Why didn't they offer you cilantro?
Yeah,
we have cilantro cream cheese.
I bet that would be really good though. If it had like some spice too, or I think it'd be too sweet.
Yeah, well,
man, now I want a bagel.
That's a thing when I make my cream cheese at home. I put the scallions in it, and then I put like different hot sauces and.
Oh, that's so Texas.
All that stuff. Yeah. Well, I don't like it spicy.
Dumping hot sauce.
Well,
yeah.
Are you familiar with the newest hot sauce on the market?
I've heard that BobbyBiggerCast has a hot sauce.
The Bobby Biggs Chipotle. It's the hottest seller in the business, baby.
Oh my gosh. I love a Chipotle sauce too.
Sauce it is. We'll get you a bottle.
Yeah. I'll pay you for it. These are hard times.
It was very just a guy that was a fan, and he owns a hot sauce company, and I was talking to him and told him I liked Chipotle.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like the burrito place, but that I like the spice.
The smokiness, yeah.
Yeah. And he said he used to have one, but I guess it didn't sell. And it was like before Chipotle kind of was a big deal. And now that everybody knows it, and he said, well, I have one. He's like, we can do something and put you on the label and name it after you. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Dude.
Hook it up.
I mean, somebody is out here making their dreams come true. And this time, that's what I like to see.
Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah. So I guess I got that going for me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I moved back in with my mother. So, I mean, congrats on the hot sauce.
Chelsea Hood, comedian, used to, I don't even know if I said your name. I mean, obviously I'll do an intro to this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, or else I'll leave.
Tell people more about you. But so you're in Illinois right now?
I am. Chicago burbs.
Okay. I was going to say Chicago, but I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm still in the city enough. Like, my lease ended at the end of July, and I was like, why am I paying $1,200 a month, and you're paying $1,200 a month, and we're both just sitting around alone? Like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
So I went through like 6 months of just being like kind of fully isolated in my garden apartment, and I was like, I think I'm good. I'm not going to sign a lease when I went from having 2 full-time jobs to 0 jobs. So I was like, I'm not going to keep an apartment right now. It's stupid.
Are you getting unemployment?
Oh yeah. But now it's nothing. Like, it was dope when they were paying us like a real wage, but now they cut it back. So everybody's like, oh, okay, cool. So I need another job, at which point you will take this away. Awesome.
Yeah. Perfect. I waited so long to file for the unemployment that by the time I got it, it was, I mean, I got most of the back stuff. They still actually owe me some of the back extra 600. But I waited so long, so now I actually have, I probably would have spent most of that, but since I waited so long, I still have a lot of it left because I've only been getting it for a couple of months.
I've spent a little.
Yeah, I know I've got plenty, but I mean, obviously if I had it back then, I certainly would have spent some of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's just nothing to do. It's like, I don't know. Are you doing outside shows? How's that going?
Yeah. Um, being in New York City, yeah, you can't go inside any bars or restaurants. They might
Which
be
is
open,
smart.
but yeah, I agree with all that. I'm a I'm a mask person. I believe Corona's real, all
I
that
had
stuff.
it.
Ah, well, shit. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely believe it's real. It was funny. I was actually trying to think of. I sat there and thought for a second. I was like, I don't really know. I don't really know anybody that's gotten Corona. Not at one point did I ever think it was fake, but
Right.
I just remember thinking for a second. I was like, and then after I actually thought about it, I was like, no, I actually did have a friend of mine in Houston I knew got it, but I literally I didn't know many people that, I mean, now that I think about, I mean, I would see people on Facebook say, oh, I got it, but they weren't necessarily, friends of mine. It was just like Facebook friends or even fans.
Sure.
But I think I've probably, of course, if anybody were to hear this, if I say, I think I only had like 2 friends that got it, then all these other people would come out of the woodwork and say, what do you mean?
Naturally.
I got it. I told you. Or, we're friends. And it's like, okay, I get it. But it's, but anyway, in New York City, so you can't go in any bars or restaurants. So obviously there's no inside shows. There's either
Right.
shows, people Stand Up New York is doing shows in the park, and I usually do one or two of those a week, and they actually pay, so that's great. And there's a microphone, and it's nothing is. I mean, that's close to being like it used to be, because I mean, you're not going to compare anything outside to being inside, but obviously we've all done outside shows already before this happened. We've done, I mean, now granted, people were sitting together, or it was like the back porch of a bar or something that had like an outdoor
Right.
area. But, there's just like backyard shows and park shows. So not really a
Yeah.
lot. I did a show
It's
in,
happening. People are doing shows inside here. The clubs are, and I love those clubs, and I'm grateful for the work that I have at them. But I've not taken it because I just don't think people are like, oh, they're wearing masks. I'm like, have you met people who go to comedy clubs? They're not wearing that. They don't.
yeah.
They throw up under their chair and keep watching the show. They're not
Yeah.
wearing
Nobody's
masks.
wearing a mask sitting at their table.
Yeah, like I just don't buy it. It's like, no, they're drinking. And after 2 drinks, it's like everybody's mask is off, you know?
Yeah, it was funny. A few months ago, I did a show in Pennsylvania. Myself and some other comics drove over to Pennsylvania and did a show. And when we walked in, we're wearing masks, and we wore masks the whole time except when we were performing. And literally everybody that came in, as soon as they walked in, they just took off their mask. And there were signs all over that said you had to wear a mask. I mean, this was back in like June. And yeah. So, I mean, when I see people doing shows in Houston or in Texas, and there's,
I'm seeing comics posting just like hanging out in bars.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you, but I'm so mad about it.
I'm supposed to be doing a show in Houston on the 26th, I think, Saturday the 26th at this bar I know of. But I also know that, is it the 26th? Yeah, the 26th. At Rudyard's in Houston. But I know the girl that like runs it, and she said, like, she's a teacher. So she understands all the Corona stuff. And she's like, no, they, people have to wear a mask. I mean, obviously when they're sitting at their table, if they're drinking or eating, but everything's separated. She's like, I wouldn't have anything to do with this place if they weren't doing it right. So,
right.
Cause some places aren't.
Well, and
I think like the improvs are all open. At least,
are they?
the ones in Texas. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're so, well, yeah, because Tone was there like 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, it's like I just don't know what people are doing. It's
Yeah, I saw somebody posted something. They're doing a show in Houston, and they were like 500 people, and I was like, "How the fuck?" I go, "There is no place where you could have 500 people inside."
Yeah.
Because it's
Are
supposed
you
to
at the
be like,
Astros Park?
well, all these places, they're also supposed to be like half
Capacity.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's still the rule. You can, the Improv can open, but they can only have, at maximum half the amount of people they would hold. And I'm just like, where are these, people doing these fucking shows? And then it just,
you know what kills me too? It's that a lot of the comics that are doing these like massive shows are not people I would want to see do a small show. So like, why are you the one that's gonna kill it for everybody else? Like, I promise you, the world can go without your perspective for another 6 months.
Well, a lot of times the guys that are, if you want to say the best, like local promoters, they're not usually good comics. That's why they bust their ass so hard doing they're like, oh, we get people to come to these shows, but all right. Yeah, you do. But nobody really wants to see
Yeah, but can you stop doing 27 up top? That'd be huge.
Exactly. Are you using your phone are you using your phone?
Yeah. Does it look weird?
No, it's cool. What kind of phone do you have?
An iFizzle? It might be.
No. I was just looking, like, cause I bought a stupid webcam, and cause the camera on the MacBook Air is notoriously shitty for some reason. So I bought an external camera.
Sure.
But it looks like shit. I think I'm going to return it. I mean, no, yours looks great. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, this is, well, I didn't know if we were doing video, so I just blow dried my bangs. And then all of this is wet. So
yeah, can you turn your camera sideways?
I was going to say, yeah, you want me sideways? I can do that. I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Just, let me just set this.
That makes you bigger. I'm sure that's what every girl wants to hear.
Every girl's like, oh my God, make me bigger, baby. Okay. Okay. I gotta scoot back so my head's not cut off. There we are.
Yeah, I gotta send this camera back.
I gotta just grab this beverage. Hold on. Look at my mom's cabinet. Isn't it lovely?
Nice.
Okay. We're doing great.
Hold on. I gotta grab mine.
Oh, now we lost Bob.
This is the exciting world of podcasting.
Oh, I'm a huge fan.
What's your drink?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just opened I'm trying these ciders from Oscar Blues, or like the like this, like essentially like a Oscar Blues who does Dale's Pale Ale, which I like. They made like a gluten-free, vegan, 0 carbs, 0 sugar side. Then you're like, wow, I wonder if this will be good. And then you're like, well, why would I think that? There's nothing good in it. Like,
right. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
All right.
You're a little. Oh no, yeah, you're good.
I just took
when
off.
You're shouting.
I took off the headset. I'm shouting. Am I shouting now?
No, I think you're doing great.
Okay, good. So, so we met years ago did we meet in Houston or Dallas? I know it was in Texas.
Addison Improv in Dallas.
That's right. And you're from the Midwest, obviously, Chicago, Chicagoburg, whatever.
Yeah.
And Jesus, how long ago was that we met?
I think it was honestly probably 2010.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because Greg was my second ever MC weekend.
Greg Warren?
Mm-hmm. And I think that it was like spring of 2010.
All right. Yeah. That sounds like
because I was so green. I mean, I'm still doing that same set, but I was really green.
You've honed it now?
Yeah, my 10 is solid,
Nice.
11 years later, and I have my 10, baby.
Awesome. What, so why were you in Texas then?
Oh, I almost became a little housewife. when I was 25.
Oh, you moved there like from Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
With a
With the
guy?
guy that I had been like living with here. Yeah.
Okay, why did he move to? What brought you to
Well, he was only supposed to be here for
Dallas?
like a 6-month internship, and he was originally from Dallas, like out closer to Fort Worth, actually, a very white little town called Southlake, Texas, and just like it was like kind of like my first like real like good love, you know. And then I was
Jesus.
like, we were living together, and then
Oh,
his dad was like, he should come back to Texas. And we were like, we're really happy. And his dad was like, well, I'm going to offer him so much money. He comes back to Texas. So he went to work for his dad. And then I moved there, and like immediately it was like, I hate this. This is like, we live on a golf course in the middle of nowhere. I have no friends. What was I thinking? So I didn't want to come back right away and be like, oh God, yeah, you guys were right. This was a terrible idea.
you didn't have a job or anything? You were just there to be his wife?
Bob, well, you think I don't have a trophy wife body? Is that what this is about?
Not at all. Not at all, Mr. Hood.
I'm just like, oh. So I'm just like hanging like shelves in the background while we're flirting. Just, I mean, it's like, it was just kind of one of those things where I was like, man, I remember my dad was like, Chelsea, we are never going to have that kind of money. So you need to do this. This is a really good choice for your future.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to come back here and be like, oh yeah, everybody was right. Like this was kind of a terrible idea, you know?
Were you guys married?
No.
Right. Okay.
No. And so then I was still in Dallas, and I didn't want to come. I mean, it was like 6 months into being there that we realized it wasn't going to work out. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to maybe try stand up, because I've always wanted to do it. But in Chicago, first of all, the Chicago scene was like, in my opinion, probably the second best in the country.
Sure.
You know, and like, I mean, if Los Angeles has a problem with it, I would love to see how many of our comics are the ones working out there right now, because it's like Beth Stelling, and like, I mean, it's just the people that I really love that are doing great stuff in LA or New York tend to be from Chicago, Boston, you know.
Yeah, Chicago's known for comedy.
And but I was so intimidated by it. I was like, there's no way I can try it there. Plus it's so revealing. I was like, anybody, when you start, you know, everybody's like, oh my God, I have to come see you. And you're like, I don't know what I'm doing yet. Like, don't come see me.
Yeah.
So starting in Texas was perfect, because there was low risk, high reward, you know?
Where's South Lake compared to like, so what was the closest club?
Have you played Arlington before?
Yeah.
The Improv in Arlington? It's like not far from there. So it's like a little bit closer to Fort Worth. The closest club to there would be like Fort Worth Hyenas.
Right.
If that still exists, right? Yeah. They just closed Plano. I don't know. Everything's closing. I can't even talk about Cap City.
Yeah. I mean, Plano was, even before Corona was kind of on the way.
Yeah.
They were just barely holding on.
But no, so like when we broke up, I stayed in Texas because we were thinking of getting married. So we were like, let's just slow this down. Let's take 6 months and we'll reconvene. Which was basically just how he got me to move out. So I got a place close to, I was running a children's theater camp. I was like teaching kids improv and directing children's after school productions. Because I got my degree in theater and production and directing and stuff. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. And then Googled stand-up comedy Dallas. That's what I knew about comedy. And improv, so the improv was like straight down Beltline, like 15 minutes.
Okay.
And so I just went there. Sean Trainer hired me, started cocktailing, and like immediately it was like, this is what I want to do. This is crazy. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So, I mean, I knew I wanted to do it when I saw Robin Williams live on Broadway. That was like the first time I saw live stand-up, even though he didn't write any of it. Like, it was still just like, holy cow, like, you have a whole theater rolling and it's just you and a microphone.
Sure.
What? So I was kind of hooked, but terrified. Like, it's funny because like now people are like, oh my God, you have the biggest balls. And you think that, remember thinking back to like when you were thinking about doing it and you were like, oh, this is terrifying. But now when people say that stuff to you, you're like, oh, pish posh, you know. I don't even know what you mean. Scary, but like when you think back about trying it.
Well, whenever somebody says that to me, or you know, or if they want to do it, they're like, oh, I can't, and I'm just like, just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no. I go, unless you tell me that you did it and it was literally the worst experience of your life, which I'd have to think there would be other things that have happened to you that were worse than, you know.
Yeah, if not you, then you need a therapist and some perspective, honestly.
Yeah, but if unless somebody told me that was literally the worst thing that ever happened to them in their life, then I would be like, I always tell people, I'm just like, just do it, and whatever happens, do it again.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if you kill or you bomb. I go, it doesn't matter. Then do it again. Then do it again.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, do it. That's the. I mean,
Have you ever taken a long break, or was this kind of it?
Well, no, definitely this was it. As far as like performing stand up on stage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, since the beginning of March, I up until, or even till now, I've probably done, from March till now, I've probably done 10 sets.
Which is like, honestly, like a Monday through Thursday for you normally.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Oh.
And, you know, there's people that go up a lot more than I do. I mean, it's incredible, you know, from March to, and that's me even counting a couple of stupid Instagram shows.
I'm not having all that.
Well, the Instagram shows are dumb because there's only 2 people on the screen. So it would literally be like if you were doing stand up and I was your audience right now.
Yeah. I mean, no thanks.
At least a Zoom show. I find the Zoom shows to be fun as long as people have their microphones unmuted so that I can hear them laugh. I've had a lot of fun on those. The Instagram shows that people do, you're just playing to the person who puts it together.
No
so
thanks.
You can't. Yeah, that's not. At least the Zoom shows are actually. I've had every one of those I've done. I've had fun because there's.
I love that.
It's nothing like regular stand-up, of course. I mean, until we actually get, you know, are inside doing a show and people are sitting close to each other. I mean, that's the thing about, you know,
the indoor shows now. Everybody's 15 feet apart, and you're like, oh, okay, well, why are we opening clubs again to just bomb?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I would say it's better than. Well, I mean, I've only done one inside show, and that was in Pennsylvania, and that was fun. But you know, they couldn't have very many people, and then those people have to be spread out. So
it wasn't in that crazy bar that has like a kitchen cabinet behind it that you do stand up in front of, like a kitchen cabinet like this, is it?
It was in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Which is about 90 miles southeast of Pittsburgh, and it was a cool. It was fun. It was like a rock club. We found out later, like the comedy brought, like normally the people who were at the show would never be in that place because it's a rock club. So they definitely brought in, but they loved the comedy because the people the comedy brought in were people that actually spent money on food and drinks as opposed to just, you know, stoners wanting to see a show and spending $5 or something.
Don't talk about us like that.
I don't do drugs.
Yeah, well, look.
I actually did.
Maybe you should, Bob.
I did do some weed stuff my last trip.
Some weed stuff.
Well, I had to Google.
I cut an edible in half. Okay.
I said, "Hey Siri, how many drugs is this?" I did some weed butter. Weed butter and nerd ropes that were infused. But the nerd ropes, I didn't know how much to take, so I took a couple of bites, but it didn't do anything. The weed butter, I had to put it in a second, just a little bit, and a cup of coffee. This is how fat / Texan I am. The first part of the weed butter, I put it in queso.
Oh my God. This? Oh yeah, you
because I was like, I Googled,
drop the weed butter in, you mix in Rotel.
Well, it was my buddy gave me a like a Tupperware thing with weed butter, and it was just, he didn't like even put it in a pile. It was just like all. I'm not saying he had to make it into like look like a stick of butter, but it was just all smushed around the Tupperware container, so it looked like fucking green dirt. It smelled like. I mean, I know it was weed because it smelled like it, but it was.
I'm gonna send you some.
I didn't know how much to take, but after the second, so probably because I ate too much chips and queso with it, it didn't do anything. Then the next day, I put a little bit in some coffee, and after about an hour of the first cup, I was like, this didn't do anything. And then I put some in a second cup, and then about 10 minutes after that, it all kicked in. And it was okay, but I just like drinking beer. I like getting drunk. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't I don't know, just wasn't my thing.
I get it.
And that was definitely something that I only did because of the quarantine. Because if I'm working for the cruise ships, that's the thing. That, believe it or not, the cruise ship actually can drug test you. Even the comedians, they can do a random drug test.
Okay.
Yeah, for being a comedian, contract labor, no benefits, nothing. But they're gonna, we have no responsibilities. Like if the ship sinks, we don't have to help anybody. We're just like a regular passenger, but they could randomly drug test us. But I know plenty of guys that do it that smoke pot all the time that don't have a problem with it because it's so random apparently.
What I do love about you is that's just like such a testament to how good of a human you are. You're like, I just can't, because they might come in and test us.
Well, it's more of a testament to me having bad luck. And okay. I just look at it as, if anybody's going to get caught for this, it's the one time I do it, I'm going to, you know what I mean? The one time I smoke it, then I get on the ship the next day and there happens to be a drug dog and he sits down next to me and I'm like, oh, hey, little buddy. Oh, fuck, he sat next to me. That's not good.
I love also that you think that that's how drug dogs work, that they're like,
that's what they do.
I love this guy.
If they sit next to you, that means you've got something on you.
Yeah, but it's not like you're going to be sweating weed butter.
You never know.
It's true.
Some guy got caught. I mean, I'm amazed at what potheads do to hide it or
like. I'm guilty of this, so yeah, I'm listening.
I've heard stories of comedians getting in trouble for having it on a ship, and I'm just like, well, why the fuck did you even bring it with you onto a ship?
Well, because you need it.
Because they need it. Yeah, because they got a DUI and they think they can smoke all they want instead of drinking.
Uh-huh. It's like every comic.
I mean, Ralphie May used to apparently hide it in his fat folds.
Oh God, I don't doubt that.
That's not a joke.
No, I don't doubt it for a second. I worked with him for a while. He couldn't be without it. Had to have it.
Yeah, he loved it.
That's
he loved
kind of genius, no doubt. Though.
Huh?
Makes me want to put some weight back on. I've lost like 30 pounds, but now I'm like, maybe I should put it back on. I could just like tuck stuff.
I can put like a hot dog under my boob.
Under your boob? Yeah, that's fair.
My saggy pack, I mean.
A hot dog. I like that. That's where you go. You're like, this is my roast beef titty. This is my.
Put something I would use. I'm not going to use weed. Why would I? I don't need to put that under there.
It's true. People are going to keep thinking you are a weed person if you keep having a purple dog.
Yeah, that was. What do you mean? I think that's just how you see things. Because you're high. Yeah, that was a nice. My girlfriend surprised me with that. And I was like, as she's showing her to me, I was like, okay, I thought it was like a filter or something. So I didn't like, my reaction wasn't anything crazy. So my girlfriend like got mad at me because I'm not saying anything about it. Like until like I didn't realize it was real until like the next day. Like I thought at some point, after we talked and, FaceTimed and hung up, I thought eventually she was going to like call me back or something, or she was just like, oh, okay, he didn't buy it. And then the next day we were talking and she was mad. And I'm like, what are you mad at me for? She's like, well, I did this. And I'm like, and I was like, all right, well.
It didn't get a big enough reaction.
I thought it was fake. I thought it was like some fucking Snapchat filter or something. And also, actually, the way I would see it on my phone, it just did, she wasn't purple like, Grimace or Barney. She wasn't that dark. But it was enough that I couldn't really tell. And then when I realized.
I want the dog to be Whataburger orange. Can you make that happen? It would be good for Halloween.
And there's her doing the karate kick. That was a nice pose.
I love it. So how often? So now you're long distance dating between New York
and
New York.
That's Lola. Everybody knows her.
I got that dodge.
How often do we see each other?
Well, I mean, how long because this has been going on for a while. You've been in New York for a couple of years now. I think you got there right before I left.
Yeah, since like the middle of June of 2018.
Oh, wait, is that all?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Okay.
June 3rd.
I left in January of 2017.
June 13th of 2018. So it's been like 2 years and 3 months.
Okay.
I mean, we talk on the phone every day, we always do FaceTime. And even when I was on the cruise ships, we'd at least talk.
Yeah.
We could talk on like Facebook Messenger, like actually talk. You couldn't use make a regular phone call, but you could do the FaceTime Messenger audio.
I'm so impressed that there's people that are able to like maintain a good relationship and be a comic. I don't know. It's so few and far between, I feel like.
Well, I don't think
most men are like fully disrespecting their partners on the road.
I don't think my act lends to me getting pussy. So
I love snacks and sauces, ladies.
I used to always tell. I've told. I'm sure I've said this to Elizabeth too, but I used to tell a former girlfriend whenever I would go on the road, she'd be like, "Don't get any road pussy," and I'd be like, I'll give you a call the first time there's a chance of that happening. I mean, I'm also the kind of guy that if I have a girlfriend, I don't try to pick up other girls because I'm not even thinking about that because I'm deep in the back of my mind, I'm like, I already have a girlfriend. I mean, if it was somebody I was trying to break up with, maybe, but I'm so glad when I moved to New York that, that I had and still have my girlfriend, because I know if I had moved up here and didn't have a girlfriend, I'd probably be miserable / more miserable if I was, always thinking about girls, you know what I mean? Not that I'm a heterosexual man. I'm always thinking about girls, but you know what I'm saying? About getting a girl.
No, it's like, and dating in New York is insanity.
And I realize there's
bad.
I realize there's a lot of people. So I would like to think if I was single through all this time that I would have had some fun with a girl or girls, whatever. But I'm just glad I don't have to think about that stuff. Like being on the cruise, being a comic on the road or being on the cruise ships. I mean, that's another thing. Like being on the cruise ships, if I didn't have a girlfriend and was like trying to get girls, being on the cruise ship would be horrible, because it's like
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that works on the ship, they're already sleeping with each other.
Yeah.
They're not gonna squeeze me in. And I don't want to be squeezed in because everybody's fucking every single person from there. They got their own schedule. And I would just
floating reality television show.
Yeah. So I'd just be miserable being like, I can't even get pussy on here because I can't, you can't do anything with the passengers. So having a girlfriend.
I would definitely get fired from a cruise ship. 100%. 1,000,000%.
You'd be
if it wasn't the drug test, I'd be breaking off marriages left and right.
My grandmother, my nana,
I wouldn't.
She's 101 years old, right?
Holy shit.
Yeah, doing great. No problems. She always tells me, or she's told me this story a bunch. She had gone on a cruise with, she lives in Houston now. We moved her to Houston, but she used to live in Tampa. And years ago, she went on some cruises with some friends. And she said, and I was telling, when I got the job on the cruise ship, I was telling my nana all the stuff and tell her the rules. Like, we're not allowed to really associate with the passengers. We can't like if I went in a passenger's room and got caught, I would get fired. I can't bring any of them in my room. And my nana tells me this story of her going on a cruise, and one of her friends, they basically lost one of their friends for like the second half of the cruise because and these are like, at the time they had to be like, she's 101 now, they had to be in their 80s. Her friend was banging the captain.
Oh my God, that's all I want. When I'm 80, I just want to be fucking
the
a cruise ship
captain. The captain's always some old Italian guy. I don't know why, but
bravissimo. That's exactly what I want.
The captain and officers are all, I think, because that's where they like make all the cruise ships. So there must be some sort of captaining program in Italy or something. So
wow, you are really giving me some insider details.
And I was like, I'm not even. I go, we're not even allowed to do anything with the passengers. I go, and your friend. I mean, my nana didn't. I implied that her friend was banging the captain because she said she was staying with him the whole the second half of the cruise.
Hey, come here.
Is that your dog?
Yeah, she's busy. She's really protecting the household. We live in the woods. Come here.
Yeah, come here.
Come here, Hedberg.
Hedberg?
Yeah, that's my dog's name.
Oh my gosh.
I know, she's a good one.
Hi, Hedberg. Oh
Say
my
hello
gosh.
to Bob. Say hello to Bob. Oh, or just that. But yeah, we're the same dog, basically.
You kind of look like Lola.
I know, same dog.
Just different haircuts. You're a little stubbier. Nice.
She's old. She's like 9. I fostered her in Texas, and then now it's this.
Did you have her when you were in New York?
Uh-huh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, fortunately I had roommates when we were in Bed-Stuy, I had a backyard, so my roommates just like let her out constantly. She was in and out all the time. And then when we were in Bushwick, I had a roommate that did a lot of TaskRabbit, and so he was really awesome and would walk her and like
a lot of
she
what?
would get out. He did a lot of TaskRabbit, so he made his own schedule.
I don't know what TaskRabbit is.
It's like you pay people to come and hang your shit up, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's like like handyman app stuff. And so I wouldn't have been able to have her by myself because I was working 10 to 5 and then doing shows and mics, like 2, 3, 4 mics a night. And so fortunately I had people that we lived right across from Maria Hernandez. And so I had really cool roommates. Andrew Collin was also one of my roommates, and he was sweet with her. He's really good with dogs.
Oh, okay.
So she had homies for sure, but it's been, like even now, like Chicago comedy has been really good to me. I've been super, super busy. Pre-Rona. But I had to keep her out here with my mom for like weeks at a time because I was like, look, it's not a good dog life, if your human is gone all the time. So.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Dogs are the real winners of COVID.
Yeah, no shit. Every time,
whenever
I go to Houston, I'm like, oh geez, I gotta stay at my girlfriend's house with her and Lola. All right, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trapped at her house with her and Lola.
So good. I love it.
He's here. I'm just trapped with my roommate Paul.
Paul who?
You know Paul Odo?
I do. Oh my God, he's such a good artist. You live with Paul?
Yeah.
Paul's a very good artist. Tell him that his
see all the pictures
octopus print is really badass.
Hello.
Paul, your octopus print is so good.
Well, thank you very much.
It was so beautiful.
I really appreciate that. It's nice.
I mean, you were woodworking, now you're painting?
What was that?
You were woodworking, now you're like painting?
I'm just doing whatever I got to do.
Oh my God, I love it. I'm moving in, guys.
Yeah, we got a room.
We can get you an octopus print for $300.
They're all sold out.
That'll be sold.
They're sold out, Bob.
I know.
You should have come up with octopus hot sauce. Yeah.
Octopus hot sauce.
There you go.
What if I'm back? Oh my God.
You have to buy 8 bottles.
I don't really know Paul. Paul and I had like a small crossover in the very beginning phase of my coming into comedy there. And I knew of Paul, but now I just follow his Instagram because it's really good. It's not creepy.
Gotta do whatever you can.
I know. I'm in the same boat. I mean, I started a mask business. That's what I've been doing. I've just been sewing and selling masks, and it keeps me busy.
Where can people check out your masks?
Oh, I do them on Instagram. Unless you are with the IRS, then I have a full LLC established. But
sure.
I sell them on Instagram at Chicago Mask Project.
Chicago Mask Project on Instagram.
Yeah. In the beginning, I had Chicago comics, like delivering them on bikes and in cars, and like I was able to pay comics, like I was charging people $8 for like bike courier delivery. So it makes it kind of expensive, but it was like comics had nothing. There's no money to be made. Yeah. And with like a lot of comics, they're not making anything on paper. So when they try to apply for unemployment, they're getting like $100 a week because they were mostly being paid in cash under the table. So it's like, it was just nice to be able to throw people a grocery run amount of money or that kind of thing for a little bit, and to put some money back in the community. But
my unemployment, $199.
Is that what yours is? Every 2 weeks?
After taxes, every week.
Oh.
It's like $250 or something, and then they take out the taxes, so I get $199. But supposedly New York, they just passed we're going to be getting an extra $300.
Yeah, I saw. So I went in to file mine yesterday, and it said that it was active. So
yeah, I don't know how all the unemployment works, because I know a lot of guys and a lot of comics in Texas couldn't get it.
I was fortunate. Like, I was pissed. My boss let us off because I was a personal assistant and project manager, like during the day for a bunch, like for a rock club, kind of like what you were describing earlier. And so I was working in music during the day, music and restaurant group. And then, on their corporate side, but still, like they can't keep everybody that works in their office if they don't have anyone dining or going to shows.
Right.
So they let us go March 17th. And at first we were so pissed. We were like, are you serious? But we all got into the unemployment before it became a shit show. So in retrospect, I'm like, all right, fine. You're being kind of greedy and cutting everybody out. Like, worked in my favor, so I'll let it slide.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, hey, Chelsea, it was great catching up with you. I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you. Let's eat honey chicken biscuits soon. Honey butter chicken biscuits. I'll come to Texas. We'll go to Whataburger. We'll get
and some wings.
Sammy's. Oh my God. I know our friendship is built on wings.
I'll be back in Houston in a couple weeks, and then I'm going back for Thanksgiving, and then I'm going back for Christmas, New Year's.
Next time you go anywhere like through Pennsylvania and you pass a Wawa, will you just mail me a pretzel? That would be so huge.
Sure.
So good.
I'll get you some hot sauce too.
Okay, sounds good. It's great to see you.
All right, Chelsea, take it easy. Thanks for playing. All right, bye.